Hey, what's going on, Miners fans? We are back with a popular segment, Taylor's Take, where we sit down with head skipper Ben Taylor. On today's episode, Coach Ben Taylor discusses what it's like to be back in Alaska, a little preview of what's gone on so far in the season, and most importantly, what's his craziest moment so far in Alaska. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode to figure out how many sips head coach Ben Taylor takes. Enjoy. It's your sixth season up in Alaska. What keeps bringing you back, and how excited are you for another season?
It's just a lot of fun up here. The baseball is absolutely fantastic and at a high level. Getting a chance to work with Pete every day is a real blast, and just to be back in Palmer and just to coach these guys, it's fun. You know, they're new guys every year, but just being with them at this stage of their development, it's just a lot of fun.
Awesome. You mentioned working with Pete, and I know you and Pete work a lot getting these players and recruiting. So if for people at home that may not know, how do you guys go about that and recruiting players?
We start back in August, and, you know, we built relationships with some schools, and, you know, a lot of it takes care of itself now because we've had so much success together over the years. But, you know, people want to send their guys here, and we just want to make sure that they have the best possible experience they can up here in Alaska, and, you know, we develop them as best we can as players and send them back a better product.
And I believe in a preseason interview with the Frontiersmen, you said this is one of the most talented rosters that you've had on paper. So far, within these first few weeks, how is it shaping up, and how do you like this team so far?
We're young, and when you're young, you have some growing pains, and we've had some growing pains early, and some real teachable moments and getting guys settled in, but it's been a blast. These guys are high energy, they're funny, they've got great personality. They're great to be around every day.
You mentioned the personality. I've noticed personally it seems like there's a lot of personalities on this team. How are they all meshing so far in the clubhouse?
It's getting better. The last 3 or 4 days have been really great. You know, everybody's a long way from home. And guys are learning names, and we've had guys coming in different waves. And like the last 3 or 4 days, we've really started to mesh, and the dugout's getting a little more personality, and the dugout's getting a little more rowdy. The bullpen's getting a little more rowdy. The clubhouse has got better energy. They're starting to blend and bond.
Moving to now kind of on the field, what are your sort of thoughts on the play so far throughout these first weeks?
It's been all right. It's been spotty in spots, but, you know, you're going to get that. We haven't gone twice through the rotation yet. Usually the first time out, it's a little shaky for a guy. And a lot of these guys, they haven't had these kind of expectations put on them in a long time. Yes, they may be pedigree guys. They might be hyped up guys. But at the end of the day, they just finished their freshman year. And, you know, now they're hitting 4th or 5th again when maybe at school they hit 6 or 7. So they're starting to figure out their way and figure out their roles and how to go about their business. And once they get comfortable, then they get confident, and the rest takes care of itself.
You mentioned guys fitting into their roles. What's a guy that kind of has stepped up past your expectations so far to begin this season in a new role?
There's 2 guys, man. Like, Kona Quiggle has been fantastic. I mean, I've seen Kona play since he was probably a sophomore in high school at Greenway High School in Phoenix. And he had a good freshman year and, you know, really kind of had an iffy sophomore campaign. And he's big and strong, can really run, and he's played like a man on a mission through our first, you know, 7 or 8 games or whatever it might be. I'm super proud of him. I mean, he's come at this with a real motivation. And the other guy's Nathan Bach. Nathan Bach, we've asked a lot out of him. As guys have come in, we've had a kind of a nasty schedule early with 9 games in 7 days this week. He's had to throw some big relief spots because we've had some spot starts, and those 2 have been absolutely fantastic.
Sweet. So you're a back-to-back champion currently. What are sort of the keys and steps that you want your guys to accomplish in trying to get back to that 3rd straight elusive title?
They got to bond and have fun. I mean, the 2 championship teams, those guys had more fun than you could imagine. And they were close and they were tight. And you build lifelong friendships up here. And that's starting to happen here. And then the on-field stuff just takes care of itself. But the faster these guys find their identity and get comfortable, the better things are going to be.
All right, so we'll kind of step away from sort of the clubhouse and the field. What so far in your first 5 years, now 6, is the craziest thing you've seen up here in Alaska?
Oh man, you can see all kinds of stuff here. The valley can get kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, I just like coming up here because it's nice to be out in the country. I mean, I live in the big city, and the speed of life stops. You know, when you come up here, and just being outdoors and being in the mountains, it's just good for you.